Hi, my name is Hannah Ferreira and I'm the artist in residence at Bootham School. I thought I'd use this opportunity to show you some of my work and talk you through some of the influences, creative and conceptual. So we're just going to walk you through physically to see some of my recent works. So as a bit of background information, I was born in Trinidad, an island in the Caribbean, to a Trinidadian father and an English mother, and we all moved to the UK when I was 8. So my work heavily features the landscape of Trinidad, and through painting I'm exploring my relationship to that landscape. A quote that's really helpful to chew on while you're looking at my work is a quote from sociologist and cultural theorist Stuart Hall, and in it he talks about he's talking about hybrid identities, and he says that cultural identity is always constructed through memory, narrative, fantasy and myth. And I find that's what I'm trying to imbue into my paintings. So to start off with, this one I painted last year, and this is called Lurk. It features this building, which is my primary school that I attended when I was in Trinidad. And I was able to visit this site a couple of years ago, which was interesting going back as an adult, and I suppose I was kind of on the outside looking in and seeing it, marvelling at the location that it's in. I wanted to imbue this sense of distance and mystery as well as a lot of memories. We'll move over to this one. This is Afternoon Tea, which features, this is very inspired by memories of my aunt's garden. So that's what I've painted here. Sort of very nostalgic. And in it there's quite a few different painting applications. I've got some really watered down oil paint here, which looks almost like watercolor, but also I've used oil bars, which have got a very intense opacity. In my paintings, I flip between these application styles, and also between abstraction and figuration, as a way of exploring my ambivalences to that landscape, feeling both nostalgic but also maybe an outsider. All of these, different emotions and feelings trying to fit into my work, really. So I'm going to walk you through the hall to some more paintings. So this painting is called Downtown Port of Spain. During my last few visits, we did a lot of sightseeing from inside the car because unfortunately Trinidad is not that safe, really. So I thought that was quite curious, revisiting my homeland, but then sort of being quite separate, removed from it, having to go around in a car, not being able to experience some of it as I would have liked. And here again, there's that sort of mixture of abstraction and figuration. In this one in particular, you can see sort of how I treat the canvas before I paint on it. So that's something that's very important to me. Part of my process is that I hand dye my canvases, sometimes multiple times, iron it and then stretch it on to the canvas. And in doing that, you can see sort of the areas of the different colours here, sort of the blotches, sometimes the crease lines. And to me, that speaks of a history that the canvas has, the different processes that it's been through before it's become a painting. And I find that's analogous to my experience and maybe in general human experience as a whole. I'm going to walk you through here. This one is called Camouflage, and this sort of figure down here was supposed to be me, in the sense of I'm looking at this beautiful island, but with my adult eyes, rather than the eyes that I had when I was a child, and it's stunning, but I just want to, you know, sort of blend into the background, stand back and sort of just observe as an interloper of the land. And this painting I actually completed during lockdown, and it features the palms that were in afternoon tea, because they're the palms from my aunt's garden. And again, it has these different textures, and this one is definitely probably more figurative than abstract. But again, it's got the sort of treatment of the canvas. I taped a gridded pattern underneath it before I dyed it, and when I took it off, you can see a pattern, and that's was supposed to allude to the wrought iron bars on the windows and doors, which is very commonplace. It's for safety, but it's sort of become part of the vernacular of Trinidadian architecture. And I just thought it was an interesting mix of having sort of this beautiful vibrancy of the tropical flora but alongside, that's something that's like separating you from it, that there's a distance there. So thank you for looking at my paintings. This one, among others, are going into an exhibition later this year. If you're interested in any of my paintings, let me know. I hope you liked hearing about the backstory to some of them. Thank you very much.